The death penalty system in California is broken beyond repair. It is a multi-billion-dollar fraud on California taxpayers. Proposition 34 will replace the death penalty with lifetime confinement for all death row inmates. They will die in prison for their heinous crimes, which is operationally what is happening to death row inmates today. 88 death row inmates have died of natural causes while living on death row. Each year, we spend $184 million on just 725 people.
It is inevitable, it is beyond debate, that any state that maintains a death penalty will in fact execute innocent people. And I'll tell you how I know that. I know that because I have represented now well over a dozen people who have been sentenced to death and were exonerated. And the ways in which they were exonerated were literally, to quote Paul Simon, through miracles and wonders. So it is simply wrong to say that we can somehow safeguard against the execution of innocent people. We know that the death penalty in California and everywhere else is infected by the vice of race, poverty, of class, of the arbitrariness of who the lawyers are, and very often much more turns on who your lawyer was than on what you did. There is no more moral document in the world than a budget. That's where we show what our priorities are. And the question of whether we want to put our money into a system that is this broken, that gives us nothing in return, that inherently involves the execution of innocence, that is a deep, important issue of public policy.
I'm also concerned about the argument that this money will be given to law enforcement to be able to solve unsolved homicides and sexual assault. And here's what my concern about that is. The money being offered is, just as was noted, there's going to be $100 million over the course of the next 3.5 to 4 years being given for that. To me, that's a carrot. If it's really important, why do you just make it for 3.5 to 4 years? It's taking advantage of a public that right now is hurting financially. Call me Pollyanna, and I'll put the hat on with the title on that, I'll put the big P on the chest. But I do not believe that it is hopelessly broken. I agree it is broken. When people say it takes 25 years for the death penalty to be brought in California, no it doesn't. We've only had 13. The proponents of Prop 34 are essentially saying that the leaders of this state do not have the political will to carry out what the people have said they wanted in the death penalty.